going to really excite you a lot.
It might piss him off, actually.
I know Intel made a statement earlier about that they're going to get into the game, but we haven't heard too much about them on what they're going to do. And but NVIDIA looks really promising. Their roadmap, what they're showing is that they're actually going to branch off NVIDIA, their Tegra line, from the Tegra 2 to the Kali, which is going to be their quad core. And then later on, it will actually become two separate branches. One will be Wayne, which will be Android focused, and Linux. And we'll see some Linux stuff, maybe some Linux computers, but also they're going to have Project Gray, which will be Windows phones, and you're looking at desktops and laptops. And I thought that's kind of interesting that NVIDIA is actually looking to be a third processor in the mix. This could actually be good because that means they're going to have more money for more fundings for Android. But we're probably going to see better, we're probably going to see more NVIDIA processors overall. And they're already really pushing their next Tegra 3. I mean, it's not going to be a quad core anymore. It's going to be a 5-core.
5-core?
Nice.
It's going to be a 5-core. And what this means is
insanity.
It's really what they're focusing is on. It's going to have two modes, really. It's going to have a high-powered mode where it uses the 4 cores, and a low-power mode where it just uses the one core. The high-power mode will use all 4 cores, and we already know this. The Tegra 3 is going to be 3 times the graphics, which Tensor, man, you're going to be playing those games, you're going to be running those benchmarks, You're going to be playing that. But when you don't need those 4 cores, you're going to be using that single core. And that's where the battery savings will come in. Because the Tegra 3, they're already saying will have a 60% better battery over the Tegra 2, because most of the time it will be in a single core mode until you need the power. When you need the power, it will jump to the 4 core or the high power mode. And then when you don't need it, it goes down to 1 core. And it's real, and it just uses the single core and just basically shuts off the other 4. So I'm really liking the new NVIDIA, because I'm like, wow, this is really a shock, because they're already promising 60% better battery over the Tegra 2s and 40% over their current dual cores, and we're already going to have better graphics. I mean, it's like a win-win all the way around. And I'm like, this is going to be a really great processor, and probably the first 2 devices to have this, because it's going to come to tablets, is going to be the new Zoom or the Transformer 2. So
well, I will say with the games that NVIDIA has developed strictly for the Tegra chips, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm really sure that anybody else that owns or has a Tegra device, even though their games aren't free, when you load up their games, they look remarkably better than any of the other games that you load up on these devices. They really look good.
Well, they have a couple free.
They do, yes. But I'd like to know, Ellis, that is exciting to me. I'm a gamer at heart, and I love the games that they have for the Tegra. I really do. I love them. They're fun, very graphical. But how far in the future are we talking here?
Well, we know that the Tegra 3 was released to manufacturers in August. So the manufacturers have planned, and we're trying this fall, that means latest around Christmas, to early next year, we should see a device. Zeus is saying that they're going to have their Transformer 2 out by the holidays. So it's going to come out in tablets before it hits phones. But that's what their NVIDIA is going to say, because I think they want to test it in a tablet because it's bigger, better for heat displacement. But once they get it kind of worked out in there, and I think Zeus really wants to get it in the next Transformer because the first one was a hot seller, and I think that's why they're going to go ahead and just trying to get it really out. But we know the manufacturers have it, so they're just working on manufacturing whatever they're manufacturing. They're getting it stockpiled up, so they have enough to sell because they got a large market to sell in. So I'm just really excited because the biggest thing in a lot of these phones is screens and processors are big battery eaters, and we finally have seen a processor that is going to be better, but it also is going to be really great in battery, and that is going to be a game changer, I think.
The Tegra 3 may be my first tablet purchase.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're liking the Tegra 2 that much, can you imagine? It's going to be crazy awesome.
60% better battery over Tegra 2.
Wow.
And 3 times better graphics. Think of that, Tim, sir. That's going to be just insane.
It's killer.
And then, they're working on side projects. They're going to be on Linux Store and Windows 7. This is going to be interesting to see in laptops.
Good. More competition. I like NVIDIA sticking their nose in here. They're doing a good job. All right, guys, why don't we go around, tell everybody where people can find you, any last comments, and then we will end this baby off. Door.
Oh, that's first, Chris. App roundup, thumb keyboard, F-Droid, ROM manager, Obama and me, all one word, space light, Ubuntu One files, Andros, Hockey Nations 2010, ICX ROM for the Droid X, button